Okay, welcome back to members of 121 Community Church in Grapevine, Texas, and our continuing studies in the theology of Paul and the heritage of contemporary theology in the way that we have been informed of the teaching of Paul through N.T. Wright and through his predecessor, Jürgen Moltmann. And that's what I want to look at today. I want to look at this concept of theosis again, but from the individual who posited that notion in 2002. That person was Jürgen Moltmann, and because he is our leading living theologian in all the world, he was invited to participate with an essay in the anthology entitled The Far Future Universe by Templeton Foundation Press in 2002. He contributed an essay entitled Cosmos and Theosis. His contribution was an essay entitled Cosmos and Theosis. We're going to take a look at that essay. It was only 20 pages, so not real long, but it was a chapter that was dedicated to him to be a part of this anthology. It's 15 years old, but it's a powerful, powerful essay that we want to take a look at here. And he was invited because he is the theologian of hope, the hope for the entire cosmos. So if we look at block one, we're going to take a look at the context of a problematic worldview. Moltmann says the first problem is that today, theology has withdrawn from worldview into personal existence and personal ethics. Second problem is that the scientific hypotheses are continually shifting in their paradigm. And third, the sciences seldom address their own hermeneutic, which they need to do, but they seldom do address their own hermeneutic. So there's a problem that theology has withdrawn from worldview. It's not making its appointed contribution as it should. Now in block two, we take a look at the need for a new posited natural theology. And Moltmann posits the idea of a natural dialectic, where scientific findings inform us about God and where theological findings inform us about nature. And this dialectic will take place in a workspace. It will be situated in the workspace of corresponding intelligibility between scientific findings and theological findings. Then he leaves us with his first axiom: there is a surplus of knowing beyond simple survival that can take up the natural dialectic. We always transcend moments of just mere survival. We think, we reason, we hope, and this is the realm where the workspace can be defined and the natural dialectic can take place. So we have a context of a problematic worldview that is not being taken up properly. We have a need for a natural theology to be taken up where scientific findings are continually in dialectic with theological findings within a workspace that is refined concerning corresponding intelligibility. We have room for this because we always transcend mere existence. We always transcend mere survival. We have room for this in the realm of humanity because we do live within moments of transcendence. We do. So let's take a look at block three. We take a look at the problematic worldview and the posited natural theology. Both lead to an eschatological perspective of corresponding intelligibility. So the dialectic of scientific findings and theological findings are going to shape a common eschatological perspective, says Moltmann. They will shape a common workspace that will build the noema ordering of an eschatological perspective. So let's take a look at note one there. The eschatological horizon is acquired through experience of God. Those are called root experiences of God's self-revelation. That leads next to the gaining and defining of communal identity. So Moltmann gives us an initial triad of root experiences of God lead to the horizon formation within the workspace of natural dialectic, which leads to a ongoing definition of communal identity. Now, note 5, root experience is shaped into a narrative. Exodus narrative represents Judaic faith. Christ narrative represents Christian faith. Communal identity is shaped into celebratory rites. The rite of Eucharist represents Christian identity. And then 7, the general horizon formation is shaped into a collective embracing of universal future expectation. So in the realm of this common workspace, we can draw up a universal future expectation and form a general horizon. Moltmann says these expectations are temporal glimpses of God. They are the expectant gaze of moments of transcendence within our lives, beyond the mere existence, beyond mere survival. We have these glimpses and the gaze of an expectant gaze within the transcendent. For Christians, the expectant gaze is shaped into new exodus from enslavement, and that's applied to all creation. And so it becomes a movement from chaos to true divine ordering of reality, of history. We move from chaos to divine ordering of history based on that universal future expectation that we have defined in our workspace of natural theology. Metaphorically, this is referred to as the work of God's hands. So note 8, very important, horizon formation and communal identity evolve to divine completion of all things. Moltmann says his contribution to this anthology on what do we expect in the far future of the universe is to be abbreviated under the idea of this true completion of all things. And that is expressed for Christians as resurrection from the dead, and it is inaugurated, it's a fulfillment inaugurated in Jesus Christ. The power of the age to come is already present, says Moltmann. The power of the age to come is already present. It's present as what? Dunamis, potentiality that desires to be taken up and moved toward energia, actuality. Furthermore, this eschatological horizon cannot be reduced to salvation of the soul. It includes the cosmic dimension, says Moltmann. It does include the historical and the cosmic. It isn't individualistic. It doesn't retreat into individualism. It takes up worldview. It takes up victory over the problematic of worldview. It gets involved in the workspace of a corresponding intelligibility, and it works out a new eschatological horizon that takes up the cosmic dimension for Christians. It includes the cosmic dimension. So we want to look at that more specifically, and we have column 4 on the right of the chart. We're going to take a look at the human and the cosmic eschatology that evolves out of this intelligibility workspace. Now, first of all, we note that for Christianity it involves judgment. The unveiled eschatological horizon is worded for Christians as Christ coming to judge the living and the dead. And to translate that literally, it means Christ comes to set things right, to put into right all of creation, to put into right the living and the dead. It includes integration. We must introduce the cosmic principle into our anthropology. The human future is integrated into the future of the entire universe, says Moltmann. So how do we know and how do we shape this eschatology? How do we know it and how do we shape it in that common corresponding intelligibility workspace. Well, if we look at tradition, Moltmann says that we have the positing of that omega point, which was a drawing together of the universe through attraction, but that sacrificed meaning and really was not a purposeful posited option. Next, there was the millennium theological position, where a future progression of the universe would reach a state of perfection. And then there was the Christian apocalyptic, which evolved out of a religion of oppression under Rome. The apocalyptic did evolve. So it was the apocalyptic view in tradition also. Moltmann transcends all three options by saying, however, authentic knowing and authentic shaping of horizon and communal identity must take its bearings from the narrative markers of Exodus and Christ event. We look through the filters of the narrative markers of Exodus and Christ event. So Moltmann says if we want to take a look at the aspects of a true, real, and actual posited eschatology that takes up the human and the cosmic, it will evolve, number one, mysterion. It is a mystery. Through the Christ event, we understand the future as the death and raising of the universe unto new creation, which means a deliverance out of the bondage of transience. Out of the bondage of transience. And though we state this, this is still a mystery. It's something we can't fully 100% define in a concrete way. We still are encountered by a surplus of meaning, which means that we can't entirely grasp this mystery, but we do understand the future as the death and raising up of a universe, our universe, into new creation. It is transformation. The universe will become qualitatively new through a formation of true righteousness and true justice. It will be a putting right of all creation. It will be a incarnated righteousness and justice where all of the universe will be incarnated with this righteousness and justice. It is a theosis, deification. So here's from the title of the essay. It is theosis, deification. Now here, Moltmann says that what is promised to humanity is applied to the cosmos, and that is the doxa glory of the living God. Christ's resurrection is a human and a cosmic event. It will be a new creation out of God's doxa glory. It will be a participatory glory that all of creation takes up. The earth becomes the cosmic temple of the indwelling living God. Moltmann posits the concept of cosmic temple. The earth becomes cosmic temple. Now, take up the aspect of sign model here. Two ages are contrasted in this eschatology. The transitory age that will be overcome by the age without end. It will include a contrast of times. It will transcend temporal time. It will even transcend cyclical time. It will equal the power over time by the indwelt and indwelling living God. It will be indwelt power over time. So Moltmann gives us his four conclusive axioms. The visible universe is not divine, but the visible universe has an infinite future. The infinite future will equal new creation. It will reach fulfillment in an eschatological moment, which will put an end to linear time. So, in summary, Moltmann says we must transcend what tradition has given us, and the Christian perspective must be one of mysterion, transformation, theosis, and signification. Mysterion, transformation, theosis, and signification. That is Moltmann's position. That is his contribution to the Far Future Universe anthology. He says the Christian posited knowing and shaping of the future for the universe is a mystery. It is a transformative mystery. It is a theosis union with God as theosis, and it is a signifying construction that we will construct in that common corresponding intelligibility workspace. We will take up the signs of the Christian view and use those to shape that common cosmic eschatology within the workspace of corresponding intelligibility. Because we want a new natural theology to become concrete. We want to take it up again in an authentic way. We abandoned it. That's the problem we have to overcome. So Moltmann says, problematic is overcome by transcendence, and transcendence is always ongoing. There are always moments of transcendence because we always transcend mere survival. We always transcend mere existence. Therefore, we have common ground. We have common intelligibility. We can gather together in uniting scientific findings and theological findings and form a model of natural theology and corresponding intelligibility, and it will become a human and cosmic eschatology, both. It's not a retreat into individualism, it is human and cosmic eschatology united as a mystery we can't fully define, as a transformation that is promised and will occur, and it is a restoration of Theosis, unification with the triune Godhead, and we'll form it in significations, in taking up the significations of this future through the narratives, the narrative markers of Exodus and Christ event. Through the narrative markers of Exodus and Christ event. It's important that we remember that transcendence becomes shaped. Transcendence becomes shaped. We add shape to it by making it narrative. Because remember, if you look over there in block 3, remember, if you start with note 7 there, general horizon is a shaping of a collective embracing of the universal future expectation, and it is most definitely narrative. It is, look at note 5 there, it is root experience shaped into a narrative. Christ's narrative is the representation of Christian faith. Communal identity becomes a celebratory rite expressed in the Eucharist. And then we move on to forming that common horizon. We form that common horizon, and it is a horizon which is spoken of in Christian circles as resurrection, egeiro, raising up. It's a raising up into new creation. It's a raising up, egeiro, raising up into new creation. It's not salvation of the soul only. It's not retreat into individualism. It is instead expanding, posited horizon that fully takes up worldview, that fully takes up cosmic dimension. And then, and only then, can we truly say that we live according to the four axioms posited by Professor Moltmann. The visible universe is not in itself divine, but it has an infinite future. That future is defined in Christianity as new creation. New creation. It will be a new creation. It will egeiro, be a raising up, resurrection power of the old creation unto new creation. It will happen in a final eschaton or eschatological moment, which will bring an end to all linear time, because God will indwell creation as a power over time. Blessed, powerful, tremendous teaching by Professor Moltmann. We are so blessed for all the years that he has written and lectured and ministered over the entire world, but a lot in America. And we are very blessed to have this lesson from 15 years ago in 2002 from Templeton Foundation Press. That's going to wrap up this little powerful divergence into the doctrine of theosis by Jürgen Moltmann.